Tonight, a hidden health risk is discovered in Auckland.
Oh, that doesn't look too good.
A Dunedin chicken processing factory is a sanitation nightmare.
Jeez, it's coming from in here. Jeez, it stinks too.
Oh dear, there's going to have to be some changes here.
And dumped rubbish in a public area. But who dumped it?
You can tell a lot about the person by what they're throwing out.
At Auckland's North Shore City Council, Environmental Health Officer Fiona Eames is dealing with the ongoing problem of 3 restaurants at Waido Park that are creating a hazard with their disposal of waste.
We're off to check out a grease trap that has been a continuous problem, nightmare of overflowing occasionally.
Dating back to Victorian times, grease traps are simple devices designed to catch solids, fats and oils before they can get into the wastewater disposal system and pollute the environment.
We don't want grease going into the wastewater mains because it can cause blockages, and if a wastewater main is blocked, then that can then cause a backflow of wastewater which can spill out on the street.
Fiona knows of numerous incidents at this next site where that kind of backflow has occurred.
In the past, people driving on State Highway 1 have seen the grease actually overflowing over the side, the embankment, and then ending up on State Highway 1 and getting into the stormwater drain.
It's been an ongoing issue. The reason it hasn't been fixed is the shop owners are in dispute with the body corporate over who is responsible for fixing it.
3 of the shops share one grease trap, and that's the grease trap we've got problems with. The other 2 have their own grease traps.
Fiona is adamant today that someone must take action or costly fines will follow.
A good grease trap generally tends to look like this. It's sealed, it gets cleaned out regularly, there's no odour, there's no health nuisance, and doesn't cause any harm.
While 2 of the 5 restaurants aren't part of the grease trap problem, all 5 store old cooking oil in this storage area. And Fiona's concerned that it's another possible environmental hazard.
This is where they store their oil drums, and every time it rains, the fat gets mixed in with the rainwater and it spills over and it creates this black surface on the ground.
The mixture of oil and water is soaking into the soil, and during heavy rain there's a good chance it could flow into nearby drains and waterways.
It smells a lot, and as you can see, this is what happens every time it rains. There's a big downpour. That's what it looks like.
A simple roof structure over the oil drums will prevent rain mixing with the oil and making a mess, but the grease trap, on the other hand, is not such an easy fix.
This is the grease trap that 3 restaurants share. Now, from what you can see here, it has overflowed in the past. Because it's so filthy and mucky, it's just an ideal place to attract all sorts of pests, rodents and nasties. Oh, that doesn't look too good. Every time a restaurant flushes something down their sinks, their drains, they're cleaning greasy, oily fry pans and stuff like that, this is where it all ends up. And that's what that looks like.
Fats and oils, if allowed to escape into an aquatic environment, will deplete oxygen from the water, suffocating plants and animals that live there, and ruining it as an area for human recreation.
Every grease trap is usually divided into chambers. So all the wastewater that comes from the restaurants goes into this chamber first, and it's sort of like what you could describe as a filtration kind of thing where the grease gradually separates. So here you've got a lot of grease, minimal grease, it flows through to the next chamber, it gets lesser, and then lesser, and then there's just liquid here. And then that can flow to the wastewater station and get treated a lot easier than this muck here.
But when a grease trap fills up too rapidly and overflows like this one, the filtration process fails. All the muck mixes together and a dangerous concoction seeps out into the environment.
Just looking at this and comparing it to the first one, the size is just too small. It just cannot service 3 restaurants. This looks like it's close to the top already.
Until a more permanent measure is put in place, Fiona wants the grease trap pumped out regularly.
We don't want it overflowing again, going down that bank down there and reaching the stormwater grate, which is beside the road. Oh, it's so glamorous. I just love this job.
Yes, but it's a very important job, ensuring that situations like this aren't allowed to go unchecked. Now Fiona is going to do everything in her power to make it right.
The way things are looking now, this is totally unacceptable. It's really dirty, filthy. There's an ongoing problem with overflowing, hasn't been rectified. This area needs a good clean up.
Meanwhile in Dunedin, environmental health officers Wayne Boss and Amber Marie Marsh are heading out for a surprise health inspection. There are over 640 food premises in Dunedin City. The environmental health officers carry out more than 1,100 visits to these premises annually and investigate over 110 complaints, ranging from food poisoning and sanitation to filth and rodents.
Hello. How are you?
Food premises must comply with food safety regulations and are graded as excellent, good, adequate or poor.
I'll tell you what we're here for, just to do your annual inspection.
Today, Wayne and Amber are visiting a chicken processing plant, currently holding a C grade. That means it's just adequate, which doesn't inspire a lot of confidence for today's inspection.
Let's have a look in this staff room. I wonder if there's some hot water to the place.
Oh, jeez, it's all leaking through in here. Good thing I've got my gummies on. Jeez. It's coming from in here. Jeez, it stinks too.
Serious structural problems with the building are causing water to pour through the walls, making the bathroom an unsanitary mess.
Just check the washing basin. Any water? Oh, man. Any hot water?
There's hot water, lovely hot water.
Oh, well, there's a bonus.
There's no washing facilities here. You've got no soap. You've got a towel to dry your hands with. Jeez, it's dirty.
Is that filling up?
It's filling up, but it's not draining. It's all blocked. It's really important to be washing your hands, you know, every time after the toilet, and we should be looking at washing basin in the processing room as well. And that's just a standard that we require for obvious reasons.
Unfortunately, the washing facilities don't get any better in the processing room.
There's no soap in there, and there's no soap in there.
These handles are gross. They're really grimy. And this must be your nail brush. Oh, here we go, it's over here. You really wouldn't want to use that for anything, actually.
There's nothing, no sanitiser or hand detergent to wash your hands in, and no means of drying them. So what the tendency is, you can pick up rags like this to dry your hands, which are not good.
And everything actually looks grubby. Even the hand washing facilities in the basin looks grubby. So you're sort of starting off with grubby facilities even before you start to wash your hands.
The poor standard of the cleaning facilities could mean some nasty surprises for consumers if harmful bacteria are transferred from hands to food. But in the freezer, it's Wayne and Amber who get the surprise.
What have we got here?
Cooked chicken.
Raw chicken is rife with Campylobacter, a bacteria that causes serious food poisoning. If the juices from uncooked chicken contaminated cooked food, then someone could become extremely ill.
That's quite spooky. It's a whole new ball game now, because cooked chicken, ready to go, and if there's been any cross-contamination on that product, that can be really high risk to eat, and that food probably won't be cooked at home. It's ready to go, so scary.
From the Dunedin City Council, environmental health officers Wayne Boss and Amber Marie Marsh have made the discovery of cooked chicken in a raw chicken processing factory.
That's quite spooky. It's a whole new ball game now, because that food probably won't be cooked at home. It's ready to go, so scary.
If uncooked chicken contaminates cooked chicken, people could become dangerously ill.
Hello.
Wayne and Amber are joined by the operator's son and can now voice their concerns in the hope of prompt action.
I can see cooked smoked chicken pieces there.
Yep.
Do you do those here?
We come from Christchurch, those there. Younger brother's got a factory up there.
So let me just get clear in my own head. All of the product that you handle here, cut and distribute here, is raw product except for
We're
that?
just dealing with the raw side of it, yep.
Assured now that the cooked meat is prepared and packaged off-site, Wayne and Amber can be confident that there's no risk of cross-contamination.
It's a fair bit more for us to look at, but what I'm worried at the moment, you're currently sitting on a C grade, right?
Yep.
And the way it's looking at the moment, with how poor the standard is, it might not even come out as that.
Okay.
So you know what that means, don't you?
Yeah.
Potentially you're closed.
Also in Dunedin, Waste Control Supervisor Peter Moroney and contractor Karen Woods are investigating cases of illegally dumped rubbish. Litter along our roads, in our parks and in our public spaces is not just an eyesore, it's a serious health and safety risk.
Wait, there's something over here.
Today, Peter and Karen have received a tip-off about a deliberate dumping of rubbish in one of Dunedin's central bush reserves.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of bags in the bush down there.
Oh, there's two.
I think there's a few more than
We've
a
got
couple.
quite a few, haven't we?
With this kind of dumping on the increase, Peter and Karen's job is to track down the offender.
What we'll do is we'll pick this up and we'll take this across and have a look at it in the truck anyway, so we'll clear it out and hopefully we might find something. We might find some identification or who's dumped it.
80% of the time, Peter successfully identifies the culprit, leading to a hefty fine. It doesn't make a lot of sense considering there's a weekly rubbish collection.
It's a lot easier for people just to put it in a DCC, a compliant rubbish bag, and put it out for collection instead of spending that money on petrol, on time to go and dump it.
The Dunedin City Council provides bags for curbside litter collection and for appropriate disposal of waste, but illegal rubbish dumping is still common.
It's crazy that people will actually go and pay for the bags and then they haven't put them out on time, or they're going away for the weekend and they just go and tip them in the bush area after they pay for them.
The problem of illegal dumping has soared in recent years, and nationally the annual bill for removing it from streets, waterways and open spaces is estimated at over $2 million. With a ute full of rubbish, Peter and Karen head back to base where the real dirty work will begin. Back in Auckland, and Fiona has grave concerns about an overflowing grease trap and exposed oil drums, both of which pose a serious risk to the environment.
Oh, that doesn't look too good.
The good news is she's managed to get all the operators together for a meeting.
So we'll start off with the oil drums first, because the oil drums, they're shared by all of these businesses, is that right?
That's right.
The operators claim the body culprit is hindering progress by failing to release funds for the fix-up.
We definitely need that roof over the top. And after that roof gets put in, it needs a real big, thorough clean. Okay, the other thing, it's the grease trap. Has the landlord or the body corp got back on what they want to do?
No.
The operators say their hands are tied with the body culprit unwilling to act, but Fiona is telling them they can be held accountable.
You see me come out here so often just addressing that. And the reason why is that there's also a lot of legal responsibility on the operator's behalf. And this means there can be fines involved.
Fiona's having an impact. The operators agree to action an immediate meeting with the body corporate, where they will resolve the drum storage and grease trap problems.
Okay, that's good. Hey, thank you so much for that. Take care. Hey, thank you. All right, thanks. Yeah.
Stop by Wednesday.
Yeah, I will. Cheers. Well, I thought that meeting went really, really well. The operators are all on board. They understand what needs to be done. They realise that there's consequences and hefty fines that they could get if nothing's rectified.
Fiona revisited 2 months later and discovered progress had been made, with one of the operators now running the body corporate. The result, a clean site, a roof installed over the drums, and a new improved grease trap adequately servicing the restaurants and protecting the environment. In Dunedin, Peter and Karen are recovering illegally dumped rubbish, and back at base, they're doing some detective work.
Doing the real messy part of the job. We're looking through the rubbish to see if we can find a name.
Most of the time they'll throw out an electricity bill or a telephone bill and you can track them back that way. I always find it quite amazing how they can afford to buy a lot of KFC and takeaways and fizzy drink and flash ice creams and not afford to buy a black bag.
After the unpleasant task of sifting through other people's trash, their persistence pays off.
This looks like some here, Peter.
Oh, excellent one.
Peter and Kieran finally have the hard evidence they need.
Here I've got a name, an address.
The offender will be issued with an infringement notice and fined $100, and they won't be the first.
I mean, we've already filled out 4 books. I think there's about, was it 5 books, and there's about 50 fines in each book.
With well over 200 separate offences in just 5 months, it shows the scale of the problem. Across town, Wayne and Amber have discovered serious health risks at a poultry processing factory.
There's no washing facilities here. You've got no soap. You've got a towel to dry your hands with.
So how's the pest control?
Ah, yeah, really professional, yeah. Just your own little boxes. If I were to pull this out and examine it, would you know whether it's been eaten or not? You wouldn't?
Well, if it's half gone, it's been eaten. There you go, no pests.
Good, ain't it?
Hey?
That's good, ain't it? But I have the feeling, right?
I'm quite happy.
I know, but there's droppings there, though.
Yeah.
Can you see?
Yep, yeah.
So when you say you're quite happy, that's more by luck than judgment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, but these are mice droppings.
Yep. It's very hard to keep mice out though as well, you've got to understand.
Well, it would be with a building as tatty as this, eh? It would.
No, it's you keep them out of your home or anything. They come in for the walks.
But you're talking about you're a food business.
I understand what you're saying.
Having inspected their poor attempted rodent control, Wayne is now obliged to use their less than satisfactory hand washing facilities.
Where's your soap here then?
On the bench there.
There. Oh, dear me. It's a bit poor, isn't it? It's supposed to be a sanitiser one in a premises like this.
Oh, yeah.
I know you keep saying yes, but it's not here now.
Like I say though, I'm just saying yes, so
Okay.
I know we can fix that. And
What do I dry my hands on?
There was a towel there.
That's a towel. Yeah. Yeah.
Remember, poultry processing carries a high risk of contamination with pathogenic organisms like Campylobacter, so basic sanitation is critical.
Let's have a look in here. Where? Why are we paddling in blood down here?
This here gets squeegeed out fairly regularly. It gets smocked as well.
This is all your frozen products thawing, isn't it?
Well, there's a couple of pallets, or that pallet there is frozen.
So that was a delivery frozen to you?
It's frozen, comes in frozen, yeah.
Although it's important to defrost the chicken slowly at the correct temperature, it's equally important to properly clear away the bloody runoff into the drains.
These are the drains.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, dear me. Right. So when did you last have these serviced and cleaned out?
They get pumped out probably every 3 months or so.
This is in no way, shape or form correct, right?
Yeah,
because this is onto your drainage and that, and it should have a proper lid to both of them.
Okay.
Anything onto drainage, like an inspection chamber, manhole, grease trap, whatever, should have proper...
what's a proper lid?
Like a metal plate.
Well, they're usually fixed down, yeah?
Yeah.
So that they're only...
It's a safety
so they're
thing
sealed. But the thing is, as well, is there a real vermin risk to you when you've got open drains like that with access?
They're not open.
Yeah, but they're not in a fashion with a slab and a board over here.
The inspection is not going well, but there's still the main chiller to go.
Come on then, let's stun ourselves and look at your chiller.
So what's in here?
Oh dear, there's going to have to be some changes here. Look at the great big block of meat that's just unwrapped completely.
It was just thrown in.
Thrown in. Tell me, looking at that though, what do you think I think about when it was last cleaned?
Yep, that's fair enough.
It's a shocker, that, isn't it?
It is a shocker, and I'm more embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed for you, actually.
And there could be more embarrassment to come, because hidden amongst the clutter and idle machinery in the backyard is a chicken smoker, used for processing meat like the cooked chicken found inside, which they say is from Christchurch.
If this is not used, I'd expect to see that gas bottle off as well.
Even accepting that they're no longer using the smoker, the fact that it's not clean means it's a potential snack bar for every rat in the neighbourhood.
See, there's all fat in the bottom of there.
Yeah, it hasn't been used for a long time.
I know, but the thing is, right, this is the way I look at it. Exactly, you're leaving dinner out for them and you're inviting them to your premises.
I realise that, yeah.
Which isn't good, so you've got to just get all the miscellaneous clutter and stuff that you no longer need for your business tidied out.
You've also got to find a place to put these sort of things, you know.
The barrage of problems means it's not looking good for this poultry factory.
You're going to get a D grade today, which is poor, really poor. Before I go on, I'll tell you the thing about a D grade. We're back here in 72 hours, so we're going to really seriously need some action in the next 72 hours, all right? Otherwise, you could face that further step and it would be closed.
Wayne and Amber returned 3 days later to find huge improvements with cleaning and housekeeping. On a further visit, a pest control contract was in place, idle machinery removed, and the premises were clean and tidy enough to have them graded back to an acceptable C.